Hello everyone. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying your online lessons. Today, on this lesson, we are going to learn how to write a letter of complaint. This is Unit 5 in the Solutions Pre-Intermediate G part. First of all, our aims are to introduce the structure of a formal letter of complaint. We are going to learn the structure of this letter. We're going to learn phrases which are used in the letter of complaint, and finally we're going to practice writing a letter of complaint. First of all, we should ask what is a complaint letter and when do we write it? So a complaint letter, this is a type of letter written to address any wrongdoing or dissatisfaction arising out of a product, service, etc. Today we're going to learn how to write a letter of complaint when we are dissatisfied with a product, so with some item that we have bought. The word complaint itself means expression of grief, pain, or dissatisfaction. Next thing that we should learn it is the structure of a letter. So our letter consists of three parts. These are greeting, a body paragraph, and closing. Here I have to highlight that the body paragraph itself consists of three parts. These are introduction, main body, and conclusion. We're going to have a close look at all these parts. So I want to start with the greeting, and parallelly I'm going to explain the closing because they are interconnected with each other. So you start your letter with writing your address at the top, left or right, but not center. And after writing your address, you add the date in full below the address. Then you start the letter with Dear Sir or Madam if you don't know the name of the recipient, and finish with the expression Yours faithfully. However, if you know the recipient's name, you start with Dear Mr. or Mrs. X, so instead of X you write a name of a person, and finish with Yours sincerely. Guys, please pay attention to these expressions because they are very important. They are different when you know and when you don't know the names of the recipients. After you write your full name and finish your letter. So now a core of our letter is a body paragraph because here we include all the information about the item, about our problem, and our request for solution. So body paragraph starts with an introduction part. Here we say what the item is. Is it a phone or maybe DVD or some clothes or something else? And where and when you bought it. In the main body, you explain in detail what the problem is, what's wrong with the item, what's wrong with the product. In the conclusion part, guys, you tell the company that you are returning the item. You ask them to repair it, exchange it, or to refund your money, which means to give your money back. These are all included in the body paragraph. Here are the phrases that you can use to describe a situation. These phrases are usually used in the introduction part of the main body. So these phrases are used to describe your situation. So there are some of them. I'm writing to inform of my dissatisfaction with. I'm writing to report a fault with. I'm writing to complain about a. So after all these expressions, you add item or product. For example, I'm writing to complain about a top I bought 2 days ago in your shop in Cambridge, for example. Next, here is a writing strategy. It's like a revision of all the aspects I have mentioned above. So let us just make a revision. First, after writing your address, add the date in full. If you don't know the name of the recipient, you start with dear sir or madam and finish with the expression yours faithfully. If you know the recipient's name, then you start your letter with the expression dear Mr. or Mrs. X. So here you write the name and finish with the expression yours sincerely. After you write your full name. Here you should use expressions common for formal letters. So we've mentioned expressions, phrases that we use to describe situations. And one more important thing, you shouldn't use short forms because it is a formal letter. In formal letters, we don't use short forms. We don't write I'm. Instead, we should write I am. We shouldn't write don't. Instead, we write do not. Now let's have a look at this letter. This is a letter of complaint taken from your book, from 5G. Just look at this letter and look at the beginning. Let's start from the very beginning. At the very top, here is an address of a sender and date in full below. Next, we write the recipient's address or address of a company, so whom we are writing to. Next, here we started with dear sir or madam because we don't know the name of the recipient. I mean, the person who wrote this letter, he didn't know the name of the recipient, therefore he wrote dear sir or madam. Then starts our main body, and it consists of 3 parts: introduction, main body, and conclusion. So in the introduction part, we started with our phrases, with one of our phrases used to describe a situation. Here it was used, I'm writing to report a fault with the phone that I bought from your shop in Cambridge on 28th December. So you can see here that our item is phone. Where I bought it? I bought it from your shop in Cambridge. When it was bought? On 28th of December. So now look at the main body, main paragraph here. Here we should explain our problem in detail. It works fine when I make calls, but when I try to take photos, it doesn't work. The photos are all very dark and you can't see any of the people in them. So from this paragraph, we understand that there is a problem with the camera of the phone, and I explained it in details. In the conclusion part, I ask for a solution. But first I should say that I am returning the item and I ask for a solution. Maybe you will repair it, or maybe you will exchange it, or if you can't do neither of those, maybe you will then give my money back. So in the conclusion part, we ask for solution of a problem. Then we finish our letter with the standard sentence. Let me say, I look forward to hearing from you. These are usual expressions used in a formal letter, and due to the fact that we don't know the name of the recipient, we end our letter with yours faithfully and name of a sender. So that's it with this letter. Now I want you to challenge yourself. Imagine you have bought something faulty. Write a formal letter of complaint to the shop or website. Your letter should be at least 120 words. At least. Please follow the rules in the writing strategy. I wish you good luck. I believe that you can do it.